Many people ask me, Sharan, when are you getting married and having kids? To that I just ask them back, bro, why do you have kids? Let me paint a picture for you. Most Indian parents pay for the kids' expenses for 20 to 25 years just to be thrown in an old age home when that kid marries the so-called nibba nibbis of their life. Now obviously that was a joke.
Are you comedy me?
But we all have this one question in our mind: how to handle the finances if you want to have a kid or kids. Having a child in the modern environment puts a lot of stress on our wallet.
I declare bankruptcy!
Our neighbors in China can tell us all about it. You see, until the 1980s, Chinese citizens were free to have as many kids as they wished until the government projected their population to hit 1 billion within a few decades. After that, China introduced the one-child policy. They saw a decrease in population growth rate and also something else that was fascinating. Household savings in urban families rose from 10.4% in 1983 to a whopping 30.5% in 2011. For comparison, India has a household saving of around 10.8%, while the US saves approximately only 6.6%. Economists have long debated as to whether this jump was solely due to the one-child policy. But if you ask me, it is quite probable that having only one child greatly increases the disposable income of families. Now that we know that children can have such a big effect on our finances, let us discuss the actual cost, scams, and the opportunity cost while having children. Now, before you give in to your parents' grandparents' fantasy of trying weird WhatsApp university hacks to conceive a child faster, ask yourself, do I know what I'm signing up for? Let's go over some of the major expenses you incur as a parent. Pre-parental costs. The money starts flowing out the second you get knocked up. Starting from the monthly doctor's visit fees and medical expenses. This can set you off by 50,000 rupees to 1 lakh. After 9 months of pain for the mother, it's finally time you meet your creation. Child delivery costs in several parts of India are free in government hospitals or are heavily subsidized.
क्या बात कर रहे रे बाबा?
However, you want to go to that fancy private hospitals who charge around 60,000 rupees for a normal delivery and up to 2 freaking lakhs if there are any complications. Now, once your child is born, it gets interesting. You have to constantly monitor your child's health and get him or her vaccinated. Vaccination and medical costs during this period can be a costly affair, costing upwards of 1 lakh sometimes. Polio and hepatitis B vaccines are some examples of vaccines that are absolutely integral for your child's health.
5 साल 7 बार.
Now that they're healthy and growing, it's time for education. Children's education is no joke, my friends. It is turning out to be a more and more expensive affair. And who knows what your kid will actually do in school. Our parents were relatively luckier. Back in my days, school fees were only 15,000 rupees a year. But currently, finding a good school for under 50,000 rupees is practically impossible for tier 1 city residents. The cause for the sudden hike in education expenses is due to education inflation. In India, it's over 10%, and in some schools, it's as much as 15% increase per year. Now, if you do not plan ahead for education expenses, you might struggle to meet the fees requirements. Now, once your child is done with school, you'll have to cash out a big check for their college for the next 4 to 5 years, depending on how many subjects they flunk. Now, we all want our children to have the best college experience, and all they want out of college is student of the year type fairy tale. But you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
It is what it is. It is what it is.
So making a significant corpus for higher education is a must. However, most parents make the mistake of underestimating how much the cost can be and how much it can increase over a few years. For example, in 2009, the cost of an MBA in the esteemed IIM institutes was just 5 lakh rupees. But as of 2022, it is shot up to over 22 lakhs, seeing around 12.5% frickin' inflation. Had you invested with the idea that the inflation was just 7%, you would have to sell your kidney for the balance. Now, I'm not even counting other school and college related expenses like basic living, expenses, phones, laptops, monthly allowance for dates and other stuff. That number would be too big to quantify.
हम खाएंगे क्या?
Now the kid is all grown up and this duffer is not making a lot of money. So you have to pay for their wedding. It's time for them to get married ASAP because the parents are tired of their princess attitude around the house. In India, it is a tradition to have parents pay for their children's weddings or at least sponsor a big chunk of the wedding. Indian weddings are a spectacle in themselves and cost vary purely based on how grand you want them to be. Indians love gold and it's a tradition to have the bride be covered in it from head to toe. To make this dream into a reality, parents invest in a shoddy gold scheme that local jewelers tell them about. These schemes work similar to an SIP where you can invest monthly into the scheme for a determined period and the last payment is made by the jeweler himself, which would be your return on investment. If you do the math, the scheme actually seems lucrative since they provide returns of over 8%. However, these schemes allow you to purchase jewelry only through them, where the making charges can be as high as 20 to 30% of the value of the jewelry. This is quite a popular scheme in India. Also, on an average, families buy about 300 grams of gold for their weddings in India. At the current price, that would be about 20 lakhs. No matter how much I tell you how expensive kids can be, it's hard to truly understand what having a kid would be like on your finances. So I've built this one-of-a-kind tool that will show you exactly how much you would need to spend every month just to have one child. Let's say you and your wife have an annual income of 10 lakhs and your day-to-day livelihood expenses come to around 5 lakhs in a year and you have decided to have a child. Schools cost around 80,000 every year and fees at a good college currently cost around 3 lakhs per annum. You have also decided to build a marriage corpus for your child when he or she turns 27. That's my age, by the way. You expect the wedding to cost around 40 lakhs in today's currency. If you were to start investing for all of these goals with an SIP with a 10% step up every year and with an expected return of only like around 10%, SIP would start at 17,814 rupees every month just to meet these goals. Now, apart from this, you also have to pay for your child's day-to-day expenses when assumed to be around, let's say, 5,000 rupees per month. Now, with a salary of 10 lakhs per annum, you would be spending around 25% of your salary just on one of your child's future. Now, depending on your lifestyle, you could be spending another 10% on miscellaneous expenses like travel, entertainment, etc. But these were just assumption numbers based on, my lifestyle. But to find out whether you can actually afford a child, use the link attached below in the description. It's completely free to use. Now that was some heavy calculation which can have some stress on your financial status. Now, seeing parents distressed and needing help, banks and insurance companies have come up with a product known as child insurance. These are terrible products and parents should be avoiding them like the plague. Essentially, these policies work similarly to an endowment policy where the parents pay a premium until the child is of a certain age. And once the child turns into an adult, a sum total is returned to the child. By principle, the product sounds appealing. The premiums paid generate returns and are received after the maturity period. And the maturity proceeds received are entirely tax-free. These are the features the agent will feed you to make you purchase the insurance. But the returns that one can generate under this policy are terrible and will not meet the educational requirements of your child. Let us try to understand through an example. You purchase a child insurance when your child is born and the annual premium, let's say, is around 1 lakh. After your child turns 18, there will be a payout of 25 lakhs. Now, when you calculate the returns generated by these premiums, it comes down to around a grand total of 3.7%, which falls short of even basic inflation and will not cover any of your child's future needs. Now, all of this can be very overwhelming and scary. And I'm not saying don't have a child. Bro, children are the most amazing creation of God. There's no better gift to humans than the gift of motherhood and fatherhood. I'm yet to, experience that. All I'm saying is that before you have a child, you should consider the financial aspect of it. Because having a kid and then realizing the financial stress is not the right way to go about it. Once you're financially ready, only then go ahead. Who am I to stop you? Have 10 kids if you want. But because I'm Finance with Sharan, I just had to show you what you're getting yourself into. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in the next one.